on advertisements on it, or
Yeah, stuff like that. And then YouTube, I just don't promote on YouTube right now. What's up, guys? Just Midwest Things. I got Cliff here. We're going to talk about some shit and stuff. And it could be random stuff, but main thing that I wanted to talk about, that I really wanted to talk about, is the electronic logs in the in driving and trucking now, and how much of an effect it has had on people like you, people like me, because I work in the industry, you drive the industry, and I just wanted to kind of hit on that a little bit, and then we're going to hit on immigration afterwards, because he's got some things he wants to say about that. So,
oh, that's fine. Throw me under the bus.
It's fine. No, that's fine, because the whole reason for this is I want opposing views. I want to have conversations. I want people to know that we are allowed to be different in our ideology and still have a common goal.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing we need dialect. We need articulation of feelings and meanings. And I don't believe in hate speech, so I'll just throw that out there right now.
Well, the problem is people don't communicate. They just want to argue and fight and throw things and have hissies.
Yeah, which I'll have a hissy fit. If I don't agree with you, I may have a hissy fit, but I'll let you get your point, and then I'll have my hissy fit, and then we'll talk about it some more. I mean, which is fine. You can have a hissy fit and still progress the conversation.
Well, you have to respect the other person's opinion as well as your own.
Yeah,
just like they have to respect yours.
And a lot of people don't do that. They don't respect other people's opinions on things. But the main thing is on the I'll call it ELD because it's just electronic log, just takes too long to say. But the electronic log was implemented this year, mandatory on trucks 2001 and older.
2001 and older or newer.
Well, the engine has to be 2001 and newer.
Right.
Because we've got, where I work at, if I didn't mention, no company names, just say your place of work. I forgot to mention that before we started recording. I had one driver said he lost 17,000.
It depends on how the driver's wanting to run. I mean, you got the old school drivers that run 2 logbooks at one time, and they're going to lose money.
Yeah.
And then you got the drivers that are coming out of school now that really don't understand what they're getting into. They're coming into a world that they're thinking, oh, they see these ads on TV, big money, make it, be home. It's not what they're promoting.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I've noticed is that there's a lot of lying. The company that I work for, drivers are usually home every week. You know that, you used to work for them.
Right.
And usually, I'd say 95% of the time, you'd get your weekends off.
Yeah, for the majority, yeah.
Unless it was hey, you'll get a couple days off this week, just I have to have this load here.
Right.
By, Saturday. And it's like, okay, not a big deal. You still get your 2 days off, and that's one thing that me and drivers argue about. And me and you used to argue about it. It's like, I don't care. I have a weekday off.
But the problem is, and you stop and really look at it, you're not getting 2 days off. You're getting a day and a half off. And then if you come in at night, you're getting a day off because you go to bed when you get home. You don't go do stuff.
Well, unless you're a nighttime driver, and then you go home and do stuff.
Yeah, well.
I'm an overnights guy, so.
Yeah, but what's to do when you get home? Watch TV, click, click, click.
No, it depends on if you got a good, well-lit garage.
I don't.
Of course you don't. But a lot of the old school drivers have been complaining about the ELD and them losing a bunch of money. And I was thinking, well, if you had been driving legally to begin with, you'd have been fine. Because you mainly drove legal, didn't you?
Well, nah. Yeah, let's just say yeah. There were times I had to fudge it and make it work,
Yeah, well, I mean, every cop, lawyer, everything knows that you'll fudge that line a little bit.
But the problem is the thing is with this ELD coming into play, companies aren't wanting to add that extra money, that extra nickel or that extra 5 cents or 10 cents or, to make up that difference for the mileage the driver's going to lose. Because, yeah, a driver's going to lose. You figure it up. You got a 63-mile-an-hour truck, which most companies keep turning their stuff down, turn it down. Well, now this ELD's starting to make them turn them up.
Yeah.
I've seen Swift running 70.
Wow.
Now, whether it was a company driver or
it was an owner-operator.
But he was getting on down the road pretty
Yeah,
good.
but even the owner-ops, they were under contract that they couldn't turn their truck up.
Right.
And that was the same with the other big names, too, is that you couldn't turn the truck up. If we are leasing the truck to you, you can't turn it up.
Right.
All you do is the maintenance. You pay for the maintenance, you do everything else, but you are not allowed to turn up the truck because it has our name on it.
Right.
So,
But, there's a lot of companies that are out there now that are wanting to turn their trucks up, and insurance companies are stepping on them, saying, hey, and the company I'm with, insurance companies are, hey, you guys can't be doing that. But a lot of companies are doing like we've done, put cameras in trucks, recording what the driver's doing. You can see if the driver screws up, someone else in a four-wheeler messes up.
yeah.
It's actually documented right there and then.
Yeah, and I wish our company would have done that a long time ago, the company I work for, because that right now they've got a major lawsuit against them. I can't go into exact details. But if they had a camera in the truck, probably none of this would happen because now they're blaming our driver, and even though the evidence contradicts it, we're still getting financial responsibility for it.
Well, it comes down to this old adage: 95% of the accidents out there are going to be pushed to the driver. Mm-hmm. I remember when CDL license had professional driver on them. Yeah. Now they just say CDL. Yeah, because that was a liability to the states of, oh, you're a professional. Mm-hmm. Professionals don't make mistakes.
Bullshit. You are still human. Our government is retarded. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I'm not going to argue with you on that one, but,
Oh, some of the things that this country comes up with is just absolute asinine. It makes zero sense on some of the laws that they've implemented for trucking, and the whole ELD thing is just a money grab is all it is what I think, because if you think about it, it runs off cell towers.
Most of it, yeah.
Also runs off satellite for the tracking. And then it also the electronic company that had to make it. Which, if you dig down deep on some of these companies, which is what you saw on my computer, there's a lot of money involved.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, oh well, we can do this and this and this. It wasn't because it's safer for the driver. I can't remember the stat that I saw, but it's like a 10% increase so far on fatal accidents caused by trucks.
Yeah, because the problem is, you either got to run a full 8 hours, or you get run 2 and take a 30-minute break. I mean, you got to run 8 before you could actually take a break, or take a 2 or 3 or 4 hour nap or whatever.
Yeah.
Where you used to take a little nap, get up and go on. I mean,
and then if you felt tired, you could just go, okay, I'm going to pass out for a few hours and then get up and go.
Yeah, but them days are gone.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is even the new drivers are bitching that we got a couple new drivers that just came out of school, and they're like, yeah, this kind of sucks because I was tired, but my 10 hours was up for my sleeper berth, and I had to go, and I was like, I got 2 hours of sleep. And then I had to drive.
Well, see, the problem is with a new driver, they just don't really, I guess you could say that they're not used to the industry the way it is. I mean, you come in, you got a guy that's used to working 9 to 5, flipping burgers, doing whatever, putting sod down the ground. Now he gets thrown in a truck. He's not used to that. Well, today I'm sleeping, tomorrow I'm going to be driving, Might sleep today during the daytime. He's driving tomorrow because
that's the way the hours did that, and the whole 34-hour reset thing is a joke. That is the biggest joke I've ever heard of. Look, I used to drive way back in the day, and no, sir.
Well, the thing of it is, here's the thing. And this ELD is perfect for companies to optimize their drivers, is what it is.
Yeah.
They can sit there, see how many hours you have left, get exactly every bit of time out of you, and then say, oh, go home for a day and a half, and we're going to put you back to work again.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what it's for.
Yeah, and it doesn't work. It works in theory. On paper, it should be like the perfect system. Because let's admit, I'm not going to cut the shit. The drivers are going to be out of work within the next 20 years. Because they're going to have, self-driving trucks.
I see that, and I read about it, and I just don't see it happening. And
as quickly as I'm thinking.
Right. And the reason I say that is because I see the public kicking back on that. Hey, there's nobody in control of this truck. It's on a computer program. It's run itself. Do you really want that out there? How many times has a computer just remotely just went whacked?
Well, if you look at the mining industry, most of the equipment now is automatic.
Right, but it's not in public use to where thousands of people every day are in the vicinity of this. Women, kids, school buses. All that's going to come into play when it comes in. Mining's one thing, but when you start putting something out there, 80,000 pounds on the road that can completely take out a school bus.
Yeah, but the thing that they're talking about is putting it in a dedicated lane. That's a lot of infrastructure that'd have to be changed. Could you imagine doing that on the 405 out in L.A.?
No, but can you imagine what your tax dollar's going to do? Because you got to pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. Or they could just take away one lane. But because there'll also be auto driving cars by then too. So we got there's a mixture.
They're trying that in Baltimore. I think that's where it was at. I was reading that they was trying.
Yeah,
that.
The Uber.
Yeah.
No, that was L.A. too.
They tried that out in LA. Didn't work out too good for them from what I've heard.
Yeah, because it killed somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But that was also driver error too, because they still had a driver in there. And they were paying zero attention. Even though it's an automatic driving car, you were supposed to be focused, making sure it's working right, because you are a tester. You are supposed to do this. And so I blame it on both. I'll put it on both. But I don't think the driver that was behind the wheel is getting anything done to him.
Well, I think really people are putting too much in technology and actually putting too much hope and faith that this is what's going to come down the pipe, and not in reality look at it as it might, but don't account for it for your lifetime. I'm
going to say within the next 50 years, I doubt cars will have steering wheels. Honest to goodness, I think within the next 50 years it'll be. Who cares?
But I just can't see that, because people have trouble turning loose of control.
Well, we know that from where we work. Well, where you used to work. Oh, goodness gracious.
People don't like turning loose of control,
And that makes no sense, because you know what? I love doing this. I enjoy doing the podcast and talking to people, but I hate the, being in charge of, I got to edit this, I got to add graphics, I got to do this, I got to, all this crap, and it's just like, yeah, I want nothing. I don't. I just want to talk and say, okay, do what you want to do with it, make sure it looks good, and go about my day.
Hey, better you than me.
Yeah, because one of the things I didn't realize is, on top of editing other people's videos, working a full-time job, and doing this, that I wouldn't have a life. I didn't realize it was going to...
Hold on. Where do you work? And you think you get a life now? You
get
one day, remember?
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. When you work thirds, it feels like you get 2 days off. it does do that because I get up early on my day off. I make sure I'm up early and, can go do stuff and have fun. 'Cause
Right.
next week I'm going to Six Flags. Yeah. I was just like,
You're too old for that.
gotta take the kids. Gotta take the kids. And not my kids, my friends' kids. Because we've done it 4 years in a row, so might as well do it. Keep doing it.
Hey, as long as they're big enough that they can get on stuff.
The shortest one is now 52 inches, so she's good. And they were scared last year on the Superman. Oh, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. It's like, sit.
I'll tell you what, the wife tried to get me to do that, and I said, you know what? I'm going to sit right here on this bench, and I'll watch.
Oh, it's not bad. Because we went during, on a weekday, so there wasn't 5 billion people there. Oh, yeah. It was totally. They rode it 8 times before I was like, let's go ride something else. Because after the 5th time, I'm like, okay, I'm bored with this. Let's
Move
go
on.
like, let's move on. No. And then we went to the Screaming Eagle.
Rough.
It is rough, but they were smart. We went, more towards the middle. So it wasn't, the back one just sitting there bouncing. It was, it was relatively smooth. And then the boss, it's getting rough too.
Oh, it's horrible.
Especially on that last hard curve. It's like, oh, yep. Evil Knievel's still pretty smooth, but it's getting a little rough. But I remember we rode the boss like 9 times, and I'm just like, okay, I have a concussion. I'm getting off. And they're like, can we ride one more time? I was like, you girls have fun. I'm going to go puke my brains out.
Yeah.
Because it literally felt like somebody had taken my brain, dribbled it a couple times, and threw it back in my head. And I'm just like, nope.
And then the internals feel like they just went to pudding,
Yeah, well, it wasn't that. It was more my head than anything. And I got a pea brain anyway.
I wasn't going to mention that.
Well, where do I work at now? But back to the ELDs. I see some good in it. I mean, I really do. I do see some good in it because there's a lot of people that can't do, logbooks.
Well, they don't understand. There's some people that can't do a logbook, and there's some people that just don't understand what their limitations are. They have to have somebody tell them what their limitation is.
Yeah, and especially with these new kids coming in, these millennials and people that, really have never had a job before. They've been in school this entire time. It's like, hey, are you sure you want to do this? Because it's not a glamorous job. Everybody thinks it's glamorous. It's not.
Being an art major in school wasn't such a smart idea now, was it?
Yeah, because now you have to go to another school to get your CDL to do it. And it's like, I was at that cusp where you didn't need the schooling. If you could just pass the test, you're good to go.
Right.
And,
Insurance companies changed that.
yeah, they changed that, but, I grew up with truck drivers, so it wasn't hard for me to go, okay, I know what to do with the pre-trip. And basically, with the test that they had in Illinois, it was if you can do the pre-trip and back it straight for 100 feet,
You're good.
you're good. And I never had to back up, so because I cannot back a trailer. I'll be the first to admit it.
It's easy.
For you.
Oh, it's easy.
No, I mean, I can get it. It's just, I'm slow. But you know what? I'd rather be slow and right the first time than fast and have to do it 17 times.
That's how you learn.
Yeah. But
no, this is like you said, these new kids that are coming out, a lot of them don't understand what this industry is about. They're thinking, oh, yeah, they see these ads on TV, $45,000, $50,000 a year, home on weekends.
And then when they first get hired, they're out for the first 6 months, never get to see their family. They're divorced now, and
Well, the problem is a lot of your bigger companies, and I've watched it and seen it, they bring somebody out, they put them with a trainer, 6 weeks, let them go. Now, they're training somebody else a week or two down the road. 8 weeks, they just start driving a truck. Now they're training somebody else.
I don't know how many times I saw this, but the last time I went down Mount Eagle, I could tell this guy was new. Just hitting the brakes. You hear the engine brakes just fucking flying on and hitting the brakes. I'm just like,
Well, what cracks me up is, you get these guys out there that it's not just the hitting the brakes that bothers you. It's when you sit there and put your foot on there and you just hold the brake and hold it. Next thing you know, you got smoke rolling.
we just had that actually. They were, I can't remember, they were out on the East Coast. And they accidentally left their hand valve down.
Nice.
Yeah, buddy.
There went his
buddy.
shoes.
Yeah, there went 4 tires. The floor of the trailer. It was unloaded. It wasn't loaded, so we got lucky on that. Yeah.
Hopefully it was an old trailer.
I think so. Relatively old. Not like
Not the new ones.
not the new ones, but it wasn't 20. It was one of the newer-ish ones by the
10
companies.
to 15.
Little newer than that. But by their standards, new trailer.
Yeah.
So,
If it ain't 100 years old, they ain't got it.
yeah, that night that I was, I had to do inspections on them, and I put 2 out of service right in a row with the same driver. First one I did, I hit it, hit the tandem. The second one, I hit with my hammer, and the hammer stuck in there.
Nice.
Tandem. I was like, yeah, this one ain't going nowhere. Are you sure? Uh-huh. They had the heaviest loads you can have. You know, the ones with the white bags. You know which one I'm talking about. You've hauled that a couple of times.
Yeah, that's...
And that ancient old piece of shit that you were in. That's now a wrecker.
It was still better than the one they gave me.
Yeah, but then you just left shortly after that.
Yeah, because I wasn't going to drive that hunk of junk they gave me.
Yeah. It was either that or heavy ELD, so.
I had a ELD in that.
Yeah, but you know what? They took them all out. Of those kits, they took them all out.
Ain't that nice?
Yeah. That's all right. Now we got to run containers, too.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. $250 a load.
Fun.
No, to Memphis. That's it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So you get 2 loads a day.
As long as
Everything goes right.
Yeah, you can get 2 loads, and that's per load, $250 per load. So you could make, and they don't run. They run paper because they're all kit trucks. They weren't down. The company I work for, they're smart on some things and moronic on others, and that's the best way I can put it.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah. But keeping stuff for 20 years is just not a smart move anymore.
Well, it is when you don't want to spend the money. You'd rather keep Band-Aiding it and spending more money than just buying new. And then think you're saving money.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I'll step over this, $1,000 to get that penny. Makes no sense to me.
No.
But, that we'll stop talking bad about it. Because, I mean, they're paying me good enough to stay there. But I also gave them my word that I'd stay there at least 2 years, so I'm trying to get the boss on here.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
I actually do.
Do you really?
Yes, I see him wanting to talk about the field that I'm in, mechanicking and stuff like that. Talk about how it's went from this glorious, not everybody can be a mechanic to, you can do it. You have no problem. It's like, if you are not slightly mechanically inclined, you might as well stop trying to become a mechanic.
Mm-hmm. But the problem is they don't want to pay.
That's the biggest problem is, in the trucking industry with the ELD causing all this commotion and all this headache for everybody. Now the mechanics are also getting fucked over too. Because now we have to run 3 times faster to get everything fixed so you can get back out on the road. Because your clock's ticking. It's going. And it's like, what do you want me to do about it? This is an 8-hour job.
Well, cut it down to 4. And that's pretty much what it comes down to.
It's a 16-hour job, but I get it done in 8. That's the best I could fucking do for you, man. And I've had so many arguments with drivers because they're like, hey, my clock's ticking. And it's like, I don't care. I can't care. I have to worry about the safety of others.
Right.
Not your time. And that's led to a few arguments. Well, and that's what I hate is now that, okay, you put this ELD on the drivers, but if their truck breaks, now that mechanic's got to work 15 times faster. Guess what? When you work faster, what happens?
Mistakes. Get careless.
You get careless and you don't care, and you just try getting it done, and it doesn't work.
Well, the problem is, too, with the way they've changed rules, regulations, and that, something that you did goes out and causes somebody to get killed or hurt, they're coming back after you now.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, well, the clock was ticking. I had to hurry up and get them out.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know what words to put, words to put there.
I mean, and it is. They've really took the industry and painted into a box, into a corner.
Yes.
And everybody's standing here with their finger in their nose going, well, what do we do now? Wait for somebody to tell them what to do.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is there's no independence now either.
No.
It's all, they have to rely on everything.
Well, you can't be independent. The rules and regulations that are out there won't let you do that. You got to operate in a certain guideline, a certain box, and you can't step out of it.
I forgot how many pages it is now, but I think it's over 1,000 pages. 2,000. I can't remember the exact number, but on the DOT regulations now, it's astronomical.
Oh yeah, and they expect companies to have people that know that.
Yeah, and it's like, well, because I mean, you can spend like when you get DOT'd, because I know you've been DOT'd.
Oh, many times.
And they will, if they can't find something, I swear to God, they make something up to find something. Because I have spent 8 hours being DOT'd because my truck looked like a pile of shit. But the owner of the truck, he made sure it was perfect. He made sure that you could DOT it all you wanted. There wasn't a drop of oil. There wasn't an air leak. You could have that thing sit for 6 months, and I guarantee you go in there to start it up, it still had air in it. Because I mean, he was meticulous on the maintenance. Now and the inside of the cab, the outside of the cab, he didn't give a shit about anything.
Paint peeling off.
Rust.
Yeah.
He didn't care. But as long as the frame was solid, because he also made sure the frame was solid, it had been repaired. But it was, professionally and certified repaired on the frame, so they couldn't, get him for that.
Right.
So, I mean, he made sure everything was perfect, because every time I pulled into the yard, it was, no, just pull it straight into the shop, and I'm going to go through it, and it'll be sitting here waiting on you.
Right.
He stabbed the tires, and his requirement was you check the oil. If it's low, you fill it, you bring it straight back. Something's wrong. I don't think I ever had to put a gallon of oil in that thing. It was, big can 350 Cummins.
Them things leaked more oil than they drank.
Yeah, but he made sure it stayed dry. He didn't put the cheap shit on there.
Thank goodness.
He put expensive stuff in that thing. I mean, never had an injector go out. I never blew a tire either. Ever. Never blew a tire because it was all virgin.
That's the big thing a lot of these DOT are looking for nowadays is the tire situation. Because so many companies are running recaps.
And recap is a joke. You do not save money with recap. I'll say it again. You do not fucking save money with recap. Oh, because you can run, 3 times the length? 4 times sometimes with virgins?
I've got 300 and almost 400,000 miles on set of drives right now and
Yeah.
they're the original tires that came on the truck.
Also, you got a newer truck now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but now you have to do all that regen crap, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
But are they doing the maintenance on the regen properly?
Yeah.
Okay, they're actually are they sending them off to get cleaned, or are they actually putting new ones in?
They put them, as far as I know, we ain't had to do the new trucks that we got now, but they've got everything right there to rebuild the whole system.
Yeah, well, we've got that now too, but now
And I think they're just going to do put new in and send the old off.
send the old off just as a core, nothing
Right.
else. Yeah, because we were having ours cleaned because it was $100 to get them clean, so it's like, why not try it? But then it turned into 3 months later, we're having to change,
Because it splits the casing.
No, it wasn't splitting the casing.
Oh, that's the first time I heard that, because I've been hearing that they were splitting the casing right on the weld.
Nope. They just weren't clean enough. And then we took it to another person, and they're like, "Yeah, we charge $400." They'd last 6 months, and then we'd have to replace them again. So we were just like, "No, this ain't worth it."
No.
We started putting new in. They're still running them. Haven't heard a single problem. We had to change some dozer valves, but other than that,
Nothing major.
sorry, mechanical stuff. I know a lot of people don't give a shit about the mechanical side, but
It is part of the way the industry's going, though.
yeah. And
You
now
know,
now
the EPA, all this regen.
And that's what I wanted to get to is the EPA was also a big component of putting the ELDs in.
Right.
They were like one of the biggest driving forces because they're like, well, then they won't run as long, they won't go down the highway as much, and blah blah blah. It's like, no, now they're going to idle more, which is worse on everything.
Well, the problem is it's not really so much EPA as it is, and I believe it's the major trucking manufacturers. If they got guidelines, EPA steps in and says, hey, this truck can't be on the road after this year. What are you going to do with that truck?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to recycle that truck. You got to buy a new or find you a used one again.
Yep.
So, and most of these companies, big companies, they're going to go new. They're not going to go out and buy Joe's truck lot and buy a truck,
Yeah, not anymore. And, California, now you have to have DEF fluid. But now, through the rumor mill, I've been searching and I can't find anything. But now that California's saying the DEF is killing our trees.
I ain't seen nothing on that one yet.
I have. I've heard from some of the drivers that got DOT'd that they're like, yeah, they're going to be getting rid of the DEF fluid because it's killing the trees. And it's like, okay, you guys, cancer this, cancer that out in California, but you're killing the trees. What do you think it's doing to the human body, you fucking retards?
Well, here's where it really gets good. Now, they once say you got to have X on your truck, X you're on a trailer, but yet I can go out there and see day cabs from the 70s running around.
Yeah, because they're California trucks.
I can see cab overs from the 80s and 70s running around. And you're telling me, you're going to make me, you want the product I'm bringing to you, but I got to spend a fortune to get it to you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you know which driver I'm talking about, California this, California that. You know exactly which one I'm talking about. I didn't even have to mention his name. And he's the one who told me that when he got DOT'd last time, they were talking about getting rid of it by 2020.
Huh. I won't complain.
No.
It's just urea. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's pig piss. Basically, it's like one atom off of pig piss is all it is.
I mean, well, I won't say what I was fixing to say.
But yeah, so I know the EPA was a big component of the ELD. I know actually a lot of the bigger trunky companies, like you said earlier, were a big component of the ELDs because it made it easier on that. It's like, well, how about we just put trackers in it?
Well, the problem is the big trucking companies wanted the ELDs because it forced the little guy to have to pull back or step back out.
Mm-hmm.
So they can control more of the freight and more of the revenue prices, which if they can control the prices, they can force the littler guy out even more.
Yeah, and that's what you see even in the company I work for, is now, nobody wants to work for them.
No.
They used to be the place to work. But now that the price, these bigger companies that are, because the company I work for is not a trucking company. It looks like we are, but technically we're not.
No.
And they have priced themselves out of getting truck drivers, and now we have a lot more independents. We have a lot more bigger name companies hauling for us. We got rid of that big blue one though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they had a disagreement on payment, and I said, "Well, fine, bye." And it's actually helped us out quite a bit. And they've also changed the going through the shop standards for the trailers too, so that's helped out a bunch.
To me, them trailers should have came in through the shop as they came in, not when they're going out loaded.
But that's somebody that's willing to do that so they can have, a trailer ready. The thing is, though, a lot of those guys, once they get off the road,
they're ready to go home.
They
don't want to mess with that truck. They don't want to see nothing of that truck.
Yeah. And that's the, that was the biggest concern and everything. So now they've got a bunch of new trailers that they get checked every 6 months. The drivers actually have to do their own pre-trip now. Thump their own tires, crawl underneath there, make sure no wheel seals are leaking, and go.
Well, we know how that's going to work out.
They said you're either going to do it or you're not going to have a job. And there's a lot of people there that have been there a long time.
There's some of them old characters that just ain't going to do it. They ain't going to crawl around underneath that trailer, and you know that.
Oh, I know. And that's not, but here's the thing. If they don't, and they come through the shop and be like, yeah, I got a problem, and I, go to inspect it, and it has no problem, I have to write down their truck number. I hand it to the boss.
Nice.
So, it's like these assholes that come in just to get their tandem slid. They won't even slide their own tandems.
Now, some of them trailers, it takes two or more to do it.
That I understand, but they haven't even attempted yet.
No,
to
nice.
slide. Yeah, I was like, this last guy that asked me, I was like, did you even attempt? And he goes, no. And I was like, well, then have fun. And I walked away. Because you're not going to slide my tandem? I said, no, you're going to slide your own fucking tandem. I went back there. It was a air ride one. I saw that the pins all recessed and came out, and I put them back in, put them back out, and I said, have fun. They move. He just drove off. Didn't even slide his tandems. I'm like, whatever, dude. I'm not sliding your tandems for you. I am not your personal slave. I do 4 different jobs now. 4. I don't have time for that crap. I have to do my other jobs that are a lot more important than sliding your precious little tandem because you're too fat and fucking lazy to do it yourself.
Hey, watch the fat remark.
I'm fat too, so I got a fat pass and a faggot pass. I know you've seen that video, Steven Crowder. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you saw him go on a rampage. The first time I saw that, I just laughed. And then I'm like, oh, I got to see the rest of what happened. And if you ever watched the full video of that.
No, I ain't watched the full video.
Oh, it's an hour and a half long, but really you don't have to watch it. You just have to
listen.
It'd be good, like, just, put it on your phone. I have YouTube Premium, so I can, shut my phone off and just listen through the earbuds. That's what I usually do with, like, the Joe Rogan podcast and other podcasts I listen to.
Right.
Put it in my pocket, have the earbuds in, and I just listen while I'm doing stuff. I've pretty much stopped listening to music, which I didn't think was possible for me. But I've gotten so obsessed with podcasts that I started a podcast, for Christ's sake, so...
Like any good sense.
Yeah. Because the conversations that people have on long form interviews, basically a podcast is just an interview.
Right.
And you get to actually see that person's soul when you're talking that much. Oh, okay. I saw something pop up. I'm like, what happened? But the ELDs, some of the good that's happened out of them is that there is more control for the driver too. It's the company. The company has a lot more control, but the driver also has control.
There is and there ain't.
If you don't mind explaining.
Okay, driver comes in. All right, say you, for instance. I'm your dispatcher. You come in, oh man, I'm tired. I'm ready. I'm going home. Oh, hey, look, you still got 12 hours, and I need this load ran up to St. Louis. Won't you take that up to St. Louis? Then you can go home. You know, it's not, and I've heard of companies doing this, actually looking at the driver's logbook and, oh, hey, you still got hours and it's Friday? Hey, won't you run this up here for me real fast? Then you can go home. Maybe.
Yeah. Because then it's like, oh, well, you only have a 10-hour, break. So once your 10 hours is up, you need to go this way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the problem is, like with teams, which really kind of gets aggravating, and I can see where teams get mad and frustrated, is when the one driver goes to bed. Then you got one driving in. Well, your 34 starts when that guy went to bed. So now you get home. If he's in bed 10 hours, you only got 24 at home.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got to drive any amount of time to get home.
I've heard a lot of drivers doing the rolling restarts with teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's another thing that's happened is there's a lot more teams out there.
Well, yeah.
Which is actually not a bad thing because then you've always got a semi-fresh driver.
Well, it ain't a bad thing, but then again, in some ways it is a bad thing. Because you get these guys that go out there, two drivers in a truck, one guy can't drive worth of shit. Shifts rough. He
Yeah, but most trucks are automatics now, so. Is your new one automatic?
No, 13.
Ooh, so you got a couple extra gears.
Yeah.
Fine. Better than that Super 10.
No,
I had straight 10. Straight 10.
Straight 10 out of Columbia. So in that one, it was like overdrive.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, you miss your old Kenworth, though, don't
Oh, I do, but I got a new Kenworth, so.
Oh, one that actually has room in it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you're not regional. You're actual over the road, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I go to Laredo every week.
Laredo, Texas. And that's your trip for the week, huh?
Laredo to New Albany.
New Albany, where's that?
Indiana, right there above Louisville.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I know exactly where you're at because I've had to go through there. Couldn't remember because when I had to go work down there for the as a road mechanic, we went down there a lot, even though we had a shop that was 80 miles away. I'd have to drive all the way down there because they were too retarded to know what to do with the machines.
Nice.
They could bucket trucks? Oh man. They were the best at bucket trucks, but when it came to the machinery, they couldn't even do chippers.
Well, chipper's kind of one thing.
Yeah, because I'd rather have somebody that knows what they're doing when there's a big spinning metal disc in the middle of it.
With a sharp blade.
4 sharp blades.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was no fun.
Don't want them flying out at you.
Yeah, it would have been a bad deal. Oh, God, yeah, that is not exactly the nicest place either. Because I remember going there and I was like, I'm right above Louisville. I could get shot. That's all I could think.
You know what? Louisville's not that bad. It's a real nice area. Come on.
Okay, when you watch those 48 hours, where's 90% of them located at?
Memphis.
No, Louisville.
I don't know. I don't watch.
Oh, that's all my mother watches is that. And, yeah, the first 48 is like Louisville. Like if you are watching an episode, it's in there, and it's usually 1 or 2 murders. It's like, oh God, how can you watch this crap? How can you live in Louisville anymore?
Well, I guess it really goes on in any major city, any metropolitan area. Is that a way, and that comes back with the ELD deal. You go to these metropolitan areas, you can't go to a customer to stay.
Yeah, no, you have to leave.
And you can't get there early, so You really have to plan. I mean,
And everything's got to work out perfect or it's screwed.
yeah, or it's
I was talking to one driver. He goes, "We showed up 5 hours early with 5 hours to spare."
bye.
He goes,
Go park somewhere.
He goes, "That was the first time since these ELDs have been implemented that we had 5 hours to spare. Because usually we have to leave at this time and this time. Because it's not, nobody's got a dedicated route, but they've got a dedicated route.
Yeah, yeah. Tongue in cheek there.
Yeah, it's okay. They might have one extra stop, and then they go to the same warehouse every week in Phoenix.
Right.
Every week. That they're guaranteed to go there every week. And they said that was the first time that they had 5 hours extra, even with the extra stop. They had 5 hours extra.
Somebody actually got something done right on time.
Yeah. Well, they had a brand new trailer with all virgin tires. Their truck has all virgin tires on it. Newer truck.
Boy, they should have bought a lottery ticket.
I think he did. He's a nice guy. I mean, I don't have any complaints about the driver, but he usually gets the worst of luck on everything.
No. I heard you cry and scream and holler and throw hissy fit about drivers.
Oh, I have. Don't get me wrong. I've bitched about you. I've bitched about every driver there.
Yeah, but at least when I come in with something, it's usually legitimate.
Yeah. Like we got this one driver. He thinks it's his sworn duty to write up a truck for something wrong, even though there is nothing wrong with it. He goes, "There's a vibration in the front end." I rode with a driver because I don't have my CDL anymore. With a loaded trailer.
Nothing.
If there's a vibration, it's in his head. We went up and down the hill 4 times with the loaded trailer, trying to get it, doing different gears every time, trying something. Said it didn't have any pulling power. 42,000 on the trailer.
Yeah.
9th gear, up the hill, 60 miles per hour. No pulling power? My ass.
No shit. That's most trucks that they got. Don't do that.
Yeah. I was like,
You're out back pushing the truck over the hill.
Yeah. And you know exactly what hill I'm talking about, too. Because it's a motherfucker of a little hill. Because it's not just a up and over hill. It's a then you get one little flat spot, and then it's a turn this way. And then it's just like, oh, shit.
Yeah, there's no run at it.
And there is no run where you pull out at. There is no run. It's hopefully you can get up to at least 50 and make it there. But we were on the first incline. He still had to grab another gear because he was ready to shift, and he shifted and continued up. That's 60 miles per hour in 9th gear. I was like, you cannot bitch about this. He did it 3 times. He missed on the 4th one. Missed the gear on the 4th. So
There's the vibration.
Yeah. That was the only time it vibrated.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that's all in your head. Forget about it. Writes it up. This was 4 weeks ago. Still writes it up every week. And I told my boss, I was like, I don't care. And that's the only thing he writes up, and I just rip it up and throw it away. It's like, we're not going to check it, man. There's nothing wrong with your truck. There isn't, because it's got brand new steer tires, brand new fucking drive tires.
Oh, and I used to cry, scream, holler, and whine, and throw myself on the ground.
He was writing it up every week. He was writing it like up 3 weeks before that.
I remember they didn't want to put steers on my old KW.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Now we're running Uniroyal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There goes good mileage.
What mileage? I literally put a set on a truck. It wasn't even a month later I was replacing them. That's balanced. Front end checked. Everything. Wore out. Kingpins are good because I replaced them last year.
Well, I've noticed that different trucks wear different tires different ways. I had a Classic at one time. BS, I could get as many miles as I wanted to out of them. Put anything else on there, it'd eat them up.
And BS is one of the Bridgestone. is one of the best. Not hashtag no ad here, but they are the best tires you can put on a truck. Hands freaking down, because that's all I ran on my truck. That's all he would run is Bridgestone on my truck.
Right.
And every year he would swap out the drive tires, put them on the trailer. Sometimes. Other times he'd just go, we're going to put new all the way around.
Right.
And it's your baby. Just make sure
It's your billfo.
Yeah. But, running oversized, he made money. I made money, but I know he was making some money.
Oversized.
Depends on what you haul.
Yeah.
But if you've got a contract with John Deere and contract,
It still depends on what you haul. I used to have one when I had my truck. And, yeah.
well, when they were doing all that Vidoc work over there in Kansas City, I know he was making money with them beams.
Oh, yeah.
I know he was making money because I'd get $4,000 paycheck for a week, and it'd be, I wonder how much he made off of this.
You probably don't want to know.
All I know is that his wife got a new car during that time, so, and it wasn't, it was a nice new Cadillac. It wasn't, some cheapo car. It was a nice brand new Cadillac.
You mean she didn't get a Pinto?
Huh?
She didn't get a Pinto?
No, God, no. But I mean, he was one of the nicest guys. I'm sad that he's passed away, but that was before ELDs too.
Yeah.
And because I would cheat.
No.
Oh, I would cheat my nuts off. You can't really cheat. You can't really cheat with oversized though, because once it gets dark, you're
Done.
But what I would
Well,
do,
I don't know. No, you can cheat. You pull them lights off and you just
yeah. But when you're 100,
close your eyes and don't pay attention to who's behind you and go.
here's the thing though, when you're over 100 foot long, it's kind of hard to cheat.
All right, maybe you're noticeable.
Because no, what I would do is I got into the routine of I would make it to Columbia, have to shut down. I could get to Columbia, to Kansas City, and then I could fly back to St. Louis, pick up the next beam, and make it back to Columbia. So I'd get 1.5 loads a day.
Before you ran out of daylight or got caught by time?
No, daylight. I didn't give a shit about that because I was like, I woke up and fell asleep in the same town, so who gives a shit? I didn't move. I just have to give him the bill of lading. Here you go. The hell? You got 7 of them? And 5? What the hell happened? I'm just good like that. But the first time I did it, I made it out to Kansas City, and that was it. I made it to Kansas City because there was a bunch of traffic, and then that's how the process got started. It's like, oh, I can stop in Columbia. Because I was like, I'll just stop here in Columbia tonight because I had like 2 hours left, and I was just like, I'll just stay here, then I'll go. Yeah. The chicken coop there, they knew me. They just always passed me because they tried DOTing me. They tried, but I was like, my lugs are good. I don't know what your problem is.
But I think, I've done oversized, and it's just,
there's money in it if you know if you can get to where you're at. But the ELD has ruined the oversized game.
And the thing is, the ELD, I hear both sides. It's ruined trucking. And then others say, well, it'll give me more time off or more time to, I don't have to be pushed. If I tell my company I can't do it, they can look and see, oh, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Not sit there and say, oh, no, this load's got to be there in the morning. You get moving, I don't care if it's 900 miles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And, a lot of people were bitching about not getting miles, but then I talked to a couple of drivers who were like, yeah, I still got 3,800.
See, and me, I wasn't getting any. And you know how I used to run.
Yeah, I know. Because I'd have to repair everything because you ran it to the fucking ground. But that's the biggest problem I have right now is that, but that is one thing that benefits. There is not near as much wear and tear on the trucks.
Well, I always tried fixing it myself.
But no. What I'm saying is like major malfunctions
Right.
that we can't catch it. Because it used to be, the truck was never here, and now it's here, and they actually get, go through the proper channels. They actually go to the pit, get an actual
You mean
inspection.
we're actually getting mechanics that we're working on them now?
I'm not going to tell you how many we don't have right now. You remember that big boy that was in there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he no longer there either.
Nah, he wasn't going to last anyway.
But then we got a couple of kids in there, and they didn't know their ass from a hole in the ground. Because one sent a wheel seal out that, he changed the wheel seal, but didn't clean nothing. He just changed the wheel seal.
Nice.
On there. And that truck got DOT'd.
And out of service.
Out of service for a bad wheel seal. And then when the mechanic went out there and had it all tore apart, was like, that's a brand new wheel seal. It's just dirty. So he cleaned it up and... Well, no, he changed the wheel seal anyway because he's like, I'm already out here. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So,
He's getting paid for it.
Yeah, either which way, he's gonna charge for a wheel seal. So, according to the driver, he did take the wheel seal out and put a new one in.
Hey, at least a little.
At least he was honest.
Yeah,
At least he was honest.
he did it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not gonna fault the mechanic for changing it. You're out there for that job, go for it. But our new guys that are back in the pit, because Jeremy ain't there no more.
Oh, okay.
He quit.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, but I love Jeremy to death. But some of the stuff that he would just let go, it's like, are you sure? Because, I mean, I let some stuff go. The first time,
yeah, trust me, I know.
the first time is the slack adjuster. Because I adjusted that slack adjuster down, and then I moved it back out to the parking spot, and the slack adjuster had already released it back. And you came in there, you didn't check it. Yeah, I fucking did. I'm the one who adjusted it. I adjusted it back down. Well, then the slack adjuster's bad. Okay, excuse me. I adjusted it, and I took it out there. That's all I did. How the hell was I supposed to know it was going to go bad again? Am I wrong?
Well, yeah, you were the mechanic. You were supposed to.
No, I was the pit bitch. Get it right. There's a difference. My job was to inspect and write it up. Well, guess what? I was supposed to check the brakes. The brake was out of adjustment. I adjusted it back down to where it was. By the time I move it back out
It
to
said
the park,
it didn't like it.
Yeah, that's not my yeah, I'm supposed to recheck it after I've already checked it. If I did that to every truck when I was back there, I'd have been on the same truck for 6 months.
You weren't?
No. I was one of the faster guys back there, but I also did my job.
Like I said, I mean, in the ELD situation, it's going to get better. Eventually.
Yeah, because the rules...
They're already looking at revamping and changing rules,
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is they do need to revamp some of the rules because the whole 34-hour thing is a joke. And I'm sure you can agree with that.
Well, I do and I don't. I mean, and the reason I say this, and I say it this way, is because there's too many of those companies out there that are looking at those and saying, oh, hey, you really don't need 34. Won't you got 6 hours in there. Won't you come on back over here and run, and just roll your booker out. With 34, it makes that company have to give you that time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do think if they're going to do that, they ought to really, let's bite the company a little bit. Don't weigh your 34 counts as if you're sitting at home.
Yeah, and that's what I was just getting ready to say. The only way you can get a 34-hour restart is if it is at the home terminal.
Oh, no.
No. I'm saying the truck is sitting
Right.
at the home terminal, so that means you're home.
Right.
And that's the only way the restart actually counts, because on the road, oops, it got unplugged.
Oh, that happens all the time.
No, I know it does. Trust me. There was one guy, he purposely dumped a full can of fucking Coke on the son of a bitch.
I wouldn't go that far with it.
No, he just dumped it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have went that far with it.
Yeah. And,
It's too easy to just grab the fuse and, or just kind of
well,
flip a wire.
See, they fixed that problem with ours. We've got them to where you can't pull the fuse, And if you did, that means you were tampering. Because they've got it wired to where you can't get to it unless you take the dash completely apart.
Oh, nice.
And I mean, you have to take it completely apart. You can run it without taking the dash apart, but the way it's routed, you have to take the dash apart to get to that fuse. Good luck. And it goes, and ours is directly hooked up to the diagnostics. Guess what? As soon as it loses connection to that diagnostics, it sends a signal to us that it was unplugged from the diagnostics, not it lost connection. It knows the difference.
Technology.
Yep. And a lot of guys aren't happy about it. But it's like, we got to follow the rules. I mean.
But it's the nature of the beast. This is what's come down the pipe, you know. And can we say that it was caused by Joe running 3 log books or 4 log books? And
well, the most I've ever seen that a guy was caught with was 6. He was running 6 logbooks. He hadn't been home in almost 9 months.
Yeah, but I mean, can we say that's the reason for it? It's, in a way you could, but it's more about, like we were discussing earlier, money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like you said earlier, the big companies want it, so they have more control. And that's the biggest problem we have, is that people want too much control. Just like Democrats on immigration. You wanted to talk about it. We're going to dive right in there. Nice little segue there for you.
Ain't that nice?
Yeah, because they're all complaining about, oh, you shouldn't separate kids and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Say I murder you. Guess what? I don't get to see my family no more.
Yeah, but the problem is they're all bringing these photos out now with kids being incarcerated in cages, whatever. That ain't from now. The woman that actually took those pictures has come out and said that was from years ago when this all started.
Under the
Obama administration.
No, it started under the Clinton administration.
Right,
but nobody changed it. But now that Trump is trying to get illegal immigration under control,
let's point the finger at him. It's his fault.
It's his fault. Which I understand why he did what he did on signed the executive order, because he had to get the heat off of him.
Right.
Because if he didn't get the heat off of him, it was just going to get worse and worse and worse for him. But the problem is he also, but at the same time, he shouldn't have caved as far as he did. He should have went, all right, I'm going to sign this executive order for a temporary solution. But what we got to do is, okay then, so if somebody murders somebody or steals from somebody and blah, 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 do those kids have to go into incarceration with the parent? You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Well, the problem is they're not just, the parents aren't just coming with the kids. They're sending the kids themselves over.
And that's...
And then they're saying, well, you're separating them. No, the parents are sending their children over.
Yeah, and they're trying the best way possible. Yeah, they're in a detention center, but it's not the harsh environments like they're thinking.
It's not the greatest. I mean, let's get right. I mean, they got
it's
cable
not
TV
great.
And,
But they're doing the best they can, because it's not supposed to be a paradise. It's supposed to be, you're here until we find your parents.
Yeah.
And they're giving them education. They're giving them food,
medical treatment.
How many did they say that had ringworm? I can't remember the stat, but it was a pretty high number that had like ringworm and worms in their intestines. They got treated for free.
Right.
Got treated by taxpayers. So we are doing stuff for them. We are. We're just trying to find, they're there to mainly find the fucking parents to send them back to where they belong.
Well, all right, let's use the argument. All right, this country was founded on immigration.
Yeah.
And it was. But if we go by the other countries in the world and their immigration policies, they're only letting X amount of people into their country a year. And you have to bring something to the table or you don't get in.
Mm-hmm.
We're just got the doors open and say, hey, come on in here. Take, for instance, 67-year-old man or old woman comes into the country. they can draw Social Security now, but never paid in a dime in their life.
Mm-hmm.
So where's that going to benefit you or me or anyone else out there that's,
Still working.
still working?
Well, first of all, Social Security is a joke. Let's just get that out of there.
It is. I mean, but it's still your money.
Yeah,
You'd like to get it.
Yeah, but I know I'm not, and you know you're not. Because back when it was started, people were living until 72, 73 if they were lucky.
Well, yeah.
Now they're living well into
100.
100, 90s, 100 is about average anymore.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, technology. So 1 out of 10, 10 retirees versus one person working, it's not going to balance out. So, I mean, that needs to be revamped altogether, and I think personally it should be privatized.
Yeah, that and, the welfare system.
It's a good safety net. Like, say you...
It's not a life net.
Yeah, it's not a life net. It's a safety net. All right, because I think there should be, it doesn't matter how many kids you got, how many of this. Okay, what we're going to do is, we'll help take care of your kids. Don't have a problem with that. But if you are not working, you need to find a job. Even if it's flipping burgers, your kids will still be taken care of because we'll still give them medical care. You'll still get your food stamps. But you need to work.
But you got those that won't.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, if you don't want to work, that's fine. That's fine.
Starve.
We're going to put you to work. You're going to pick up trash on the side of the road. You're going to do something to earn what you're getting.
Stamp license plates. I don't care what you do, as long as our money is being used for something instead of nothing.
Right.
Welfare welfare king and queens. That's what I hear that term a lot, and that needs to stop. And a lot of it, I've done some research on this, but I can't remember the exact numbers. But the welfare system is getting dried up too, because we're not putting near as much money as supposed to go in there, so they're taking out of this and taking out of that to cover the fees, and it's like, no, that should not even, no. Once that money dries up, it's like, okay, go back to work.
What? There's 327 million people in the U.S.
Yeah, something like that.
So if you got that many people in the U.S. and a tenth of them are on welfare, it ain't going very far.
No. No, because you also got to think,
And then some of them, let's be real, ain't got a choice. They can't work. They're disabled.
Yeah, if you are legitimately disabled, not, you can't.
I'm too fat and I got diabetes. I can't work.
Okay. But I'm going to play devil's.
I know people that use that and have gotten disability because they claim they're too fat and they have diabetes. They can't work.
Which is funny because my dad, who was in a car accident, had bad leg, bad arthritis. I mean, like, arthritis bad enough that this is how much he could move.
Right.
For the day. For the day. It was bring him his piss bottle, have to pick him up. They wouldn't give him disability.
I know people that have never worked a day in their life, quit high school, got diabetes because they,
stationary lifestyle.
Now they're on disability, drawing a check.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, really? I mean, you can do just as much as me.
Yeah. Now, I can understand if you were born with diabetes. That does happen.
I know somebody that was born with diabetes.
They work their ass off.
He works his ass off.
Yeah. And I knew a girl in school that she was born, since kindergarten she had diabetes, and she was, this big around.
Right.
Because she ate the right food. She is now a registered nurse making $150,000 a year because she is the head fucking nurse of this one of the bigger hospitals in Chicago.
Right. It comes down to,
it's like, you're just you fat motherfucker, you're lazy, and I don't care.
That's it.
And that's another thing is that in the
But you're being a bully. You're being a racist. You know, you're
How am I
prejudiced.
being racist when she's black?
But you see what I'm saying? That's where it goes now.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the card
and-
that's getting pulled every time.
And that's with the whole immigration thing. It's like, no. Time out here. I'm not being racist. One of my best friends is Pablo,
right.
a Mexican. He is my best fucking friend. He even gets pissed off about this whole immigration thing, not because they're separating the kids, it's because of motherfuckers are coming over illegal.
Well, you know, and I've read
goes-
things, women putting on,
The fucking coyotes, the coyotes that are, being sent over, and they're basically on the trail here, raping the shit out of the women. Like,
Well-
80% of the fucking women are raped.
Right.
Why the fuck? Okay, that's fine. So we're separating kids. How about we take care of the rapists first?
no, I ain't going to say what I'd do with them, but, you know.
But you know what I'm saying? Is
Right.
that shit like that needs to happen.
Right.
Okay, you're worried about kids being separated from parents. Well, guess what? If that fucking father was raping other people, do you think he's not going to rape his own daughter?
Right.
Fuck you.
But the problem is, all right, let's look at it in reality. If these people want to come here, fine. Do what you're supposed to do.
Go through the proper channels.
Right.
Do everything that you're supposed to do.
Don't throw your kids
I
across
have,
the border and say, oh, good luck to you, you know.
and then them be anchors for you to come over.
Right.
And if the kids are like, I didn't want to come, I wanted to stay, home with grandma. What are you supposed to do? Ugh.
It gets frustrating, you know, because there's no good answer to any of it.
There-
and,
there-
you're
there's-
not going to make nobody happy with any answer you come up with.
Yeah, because look, obviously you don't have a problem with immigration as long as it's done by the proper channels, right?
Well, that's what this country is founded on. Let's be realistic.
yeah,
Let's do it the correct way. Let's not go, you know. It comes back to terrorism. All right, let's look at that. If you got just people just walking across the border doing what they want, there's, guy just got arrested. Going to do a bunch of stuff up in Cleveland. He had remote control cars he's going to give out to kids with bombs in them and just a bunch of
I didn't
stuff.
see that story. I'm gonna have to look that one
Yeah,
up.
check out that, because I was listening to it on the news. I was like, are you kidding me? And he was supposed to do it by, all this was he was going to do was supposed to go down on the 4th.
All right, I'll look it up.
You're
here.
going to pull that one up, ain't you? But it's supposed to be up in Cleveland is where all that was supposed to go down.
FBI takes down suspect. Yep. Let's see what it says here. Well, if that ain't a jihadist, I don't know what is. Let's see here. All right. For the second time in 6 years. Take that off. Or if you're a homegrown terrorist. In both cases, blah, blah, blah.
But yeah, what are we supposed to do with that?
Yeah. Who's ever watching, if you want to just read this. Detonate. In his hometown, possibly. Pitts spoke of carrying out attacks in Philadelphia, possibly San Francisco. Oh, my goodness. Oh. Good heavens, good heavens, good heavens.
But we got to let everybody in.
Yeah, we're supposed to let everybody. They say that the Statue of Liberty, give me your blah, 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 and blah, 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 because I don't remember the exact thing.
Give me your poor and, oh, shoot, no.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. And it's like, okay, yeah, we'll take the poor, but are they willing to work? Are they willing to learn?
Well, the problem people need to realize, we are the most hated country in the world.
Because we're so much better than everybody else.
Because years ago, arrogance took over.
Yeah, and we become so arrogant. And That's how socialism has become into this country, is because of our arrogance, because we've always been so rich and, prosperous and everything. Now it's like, okay, now we've been so rich and prosperous, let's share the wealth. It's like, no, you want to stay rich and prosperous, then stay with capitalism.
Well, the rich,
stay with,
they
say the rich keep getting richer. Guess what? When the rich get richer, everybody else gets richer too. Look at our standard of living compared to Great Britain right now.
But it's a trickle-down effect that people don't want. They want it now. They don't want to wait for it to come down the ladder. Yeah. They want to go up, get what they want, and then be there.
The 1% of the 1% have all the money. That's fine. Let them have all the money. I don't care. Guess what? I've got food in my belly. I've got clothes on my back, and I got a roof over my head. I don't give a shit. The problem with the people today is that they have so much that they want everything. You can't have everything. Not everybody is born the same fucking way. They don't have the same goddamn genetics. They have to be independent.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing we do not teach in schools anymore, is that you have to rely on your neighbor. You have to do this. You have to do that. No, fuck you. Do it your damn self.
Well,
sorry. I get a little adamant about this shit because I have worked my ass off every day of my life to get to where I'm at. And you know what? I'm glad because I've got money in the bank. I've got money in my billfold. I've got money to do this stuff.
But somebody's always trying to kick you down.
No, they're not.
But they are, and you might not even realize they're doing it. They might be talking little shit at work. They might be doing this behind your back. They're trying to get to your spot to get what you have.
Guess what? I don't care. That's the biggest thing, is that you shouldn't have to give a shit what anybody else has to say. And that's the biggest problem. That's why I want to have conversations, because technically, if in a roundabout weird way, I don't really care what you have to say because I'm convicted in mine. But I want to get the conversation going because maybe if I hear something, it might change my mind. See,
I doubt that.
But you understand what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
And that's the biggest fucking problem we have in this country, is that everybody's set in their ways now. Don't be set in your ways. Because you may not, I don't care. But if you hear something that might change your mind, it'll change your mind. It makes sense in my head. I don't know if I'm conveying it correctly. Am I conveying it correctly, or is it a little off?
I'd say a little off, but you're always a little off in things.
Yeah, which is fine.
But the thing is you're looking at it as you don't want to worry about what other people are thinking or what's in their mind. You know what's in yours, but you're willing to listen to theirs because it might influence you to where that was a little bit of asinine thought there,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Sorry, I'm on medication right now. My head's not 100% clear. Yeah. Sinuses. I had to take extra pills because I woke up at 3 and I was just like, I was all nasal. It was bad.
Vicks.
No. Then I just smell Vicks all day and it does nothing for me. It's just sinuses.
But yeah, it comes down to, people's opinions are people's opinion. And that's the way it's always going to be. But if people don't listen and communicate, talk to each other, it's all one big circus.
Yeah.
And you ain't going to get shit accomplished.
It's one big fustercluck.
I mean, it comes back to with politics. Democrats, Republicans, oh, it's a name.
That's basically all it is.
They're going to fight because of that name.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't agree with you because your ideology. You don't agree with everything I say. So, no, I ain't going to vote for you. I ain't going to help you.
Yeah, and
even though it might be something good,
it's
or a good
identity
idea.
politics, and it doesn't work.
Right.
Identity politics doesn't work. I hate to even have to classify myself as a libertarian because I'm putting a class on what I am.
Right.
And I shouldn't have to. I should say I'm for freedom. That's it. That's all either one of the sides should. We shouldn't even have to fucking talk about politics. Politics should be about this big in our mind. That big. It should be, we have to worry about our local government, and that's it.
Well, it used to be, they used to say, don't talk about politics or religion. Them are two of the biggest fights you're ever going to get into.
Guess what? You kind of have no choice. You kind of have no choice to talk about politics anymore. And now politics has gotten so bad that it's basically a religion.
Yeah.
So now you're screwed either which way you go, because if you start talking about anything anymore, because the politics has become such an identifying body to people that if you disagree with them, you're hurting their ideological ideas.
Right.
And it's like, you're basically saying it's a religion. It does not work that way. We shouldn't be saying we're Democrats, conservatives, libertarians, socialists, whatever. It should be, these are my views, and that's it.
Well, all right. Let's play, for instance, devil advocate here. When you were in school, you did a couple things. When I was in school, elementary, we had prayer in the morning. It was Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah.
Then you didn't have to voluntarily do the prayer, but if you wanted to, that was your choice. But Pledge of Allegiance, you were to do.
Yeah. I will say this. The Pledge of Allegiance. Now, whether you believe in it or not, that's fine. That is, your thing. But there was one day that I said, I am not doing the Pledge of Allegiance. And the teacher said, stand up. And I said, you're going to have to first of all, you're telling me I have to pledge allegiance to something that I didn't believe in at the time. I used to be one of those kids that I was like, the government sucks. I'm not pledging my allegiance to the government, which is basically what it's boiled down to for the Pledge of Allegiance, is you believe the government and you don't believe in the flag.
Right. That's
the way we were taught. As I got older, I figured out, no, the Pledge of Allegiance is to that flag, not the government.
No.
So, my thing is, I'm never going to force anybody to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance or the anthem. I will never tell them they have to, because a lot of people believe that they're alleging to the government.
Right. Which is understandable. But then again, you can't be disrespectful to the ones that are doing it.
That are losing their limbs, that have lost somebody,
right, for
that flag. And that's the only thing I will ever identify as an American. I'm American. That's it. There's nothing else. I am an American Mormon, I guess I should best way to put it.
I won't hold that against you.
Yeah, I know. I know. Your wife's ex-Mormon, so I know.
She still is.
She still is. But and that's what I believe in, is I'm an American. That's what should come out of every person that was born in this country.
I get a laugh out of it. I really do. When you go to and get a job application, you see all these, nationalities on there.
Can I just put American?
Yeah. Well, why? I don't care what color your skin is.
I don't care.
Or
I
what
don't care
your
if
ethnicity.
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care what gender you are. I don't care what. Let me rephrase it. I don't care what sex you are. As long as you are willing to come to work your ass off the way you're supposed to, give me a full 8 hours. We'll call it good. I don't care. I don't care what your politics are. I don't care about anything. As long as you're willing to do the job and do it right, you're hired.
There's so much push on this different religions or different races.
Yeah.
You hear the African American. Oh, come on, people. You're American.
Yeah.
I don't care about
I'm Asian American. No, you're American. Which Asians get screwed. And they get screwed over badly. I don't care what anybody says. That is one ethnic group that gets fucked. Because they have to be better than everybody. They do. To get into college, their SAT scores have to be phenomenal.
I ain't,
blacks, black Americans.
Right.
Appropriate action.
Right.
Yeah. They don't have to have as high SAT scores.
But, that actually comes down to, I always rub people the wrong way when I start this. Is men and women, equal rights, everything else. If we're going to do everything, let's just draw a line in the sand. If you can't get here, you stay down here.
Exactly.
I don't care what you are, who you are. If you can't get to where you need to be, or you can't better yourself, or you're not willing to, why should I lower my standards to pick you up?
Exactly. And look, there was a lot of things. God, we are way off topic on this.
Ain't we?
But which is fine, because this all boils down to immigration eventually. Is that, everybody thinks everybody has to be fair. It's not going to be fair. Life is not fair. If you think socialism is going to be fair, look at Venezuela. Just, you guys, are advocating for Venezuela since the 80s. Look at it now. Yeah. Somebody got power hungry, just like we were talking about earlier. People want control. They lost control. The people lost control. Now they're having to stand in line for toilet paper. Yeah.
That's great.
Good job, you fucking idiots.
But that could happen here just as easy.
Yeah, if we let somebody like Bernie Sanders in and let the hard left have their way. It's like Canada right now, they're telling people to put on their driver's license is gender neutral. They're not putting down actual sex. It's like, no, the identification for that is like if you get hurt and they can't tell if you're a boy or a girl right away, they don't know what to treat you for.
But they don't know. So you get an accident from the waist down. Things are missing now.
And they're like, we don't know what was there.
You were a big guy. Well, let's all be realistic. Big guys end up with boobs too.
Exactly. Don't trust me.
But I mean, it does come down to the simple fact is all this stuff is reverting back to me. It's all about me now.
Yeah.
It's not about what. It's not about how it affects society or what is going on in society. It's about me now.
Well, which is funny because Gen X is now bitching about that when they were the me generation. It was all about me. So it's just a phase that every generation goes through. That's the biggest thing. But now that we have all this technology to keep us all linked in,
it's more on the light. It's brought to the front, and it's thrown in your face.
And the right side hasn't caught up with the left side on the technology aspect of it.
In some ways, technology is good. Other ways, it ain't so good.
I'm going to say it's 75% bad, but that 25% of good is being drowned out completely.
Right, because it's what the bad is surfacing and people are making out of it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And what years ago we might look at and say, oh boy, he was kind of an ass over that one. Now has been brought to the front and really getting light thrown on it and thrown in your face to where you just can't help but vent or rant about it,
Yeah, Facebook is a clusterfuck there because I've got a lot of left-leaning friends and I've got a lot of right-leaning friends. And
I put stuff on there just to piss everybody off.
Yeah, because I piss off a lot of people because I just don't care.
No, I do it just to piss them off. Yeah. I figure they got to be mad about something today. I want to be it.
I like that one rant that we saw by Steven Crowder. Oh, what can I wake up and be offended by today? That's the thing is a lot of these people think that there is such thing as hate speech. There is no such thing as hate speech. It's called speech.
Yes. And it's only hate if you let it be hate.
Yeah, exactly. Just like these no words now, retarded, transvestite, tranny. I could go on.
Oh, yeah.
They're not bad words. Gay. Oh, don't say gay. I don't mean gay as in you suck another dude's dick. I'm talking gay that you suck. Period. I'm I was listening to a podcast with Milo Yiannopoulos. I know you've heard that name before. He was a big British Trump guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast. He goes, I want gay back. He goes, and not the, I want it as a derogatory term, as a you suck at life.
But the problem is,
but it's offensive now.
But we're going to get it back. Let's take it all the way back to the beginning where it just meant happy.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
But that's what,
But I understand, but why, if your mental fortitude is that weak that mere words can offend you and hurt you, then you do not belong on this fucking planet. Get over your damn self.
Put your pacifier back in and shut up.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Because look, I have been ranted at. I have been spit in the face because the way my outlook on life. Because I'm like, you found that offensive? Really?
Well, what's funny is I'm originally from down south. I grew up down south,
Georgia, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, obviously.
And people look at me like, but I have black family members, but I've been sitting there and called a racist. With my uncle standing right next to me going, hold it. Hey, do you see this?
Yeah, exactly. And, well, you saw my niece. That cutie pie. God, she's so...
Thinks she don't look like you.
Thank God.
I'm telling you.
But she's the best kid in the world. But, she's half black. And you know what? She just recently figured out she's different colored skin. She goes, a different color. I was like, yeah. And?
Yeah, what's the point?
What's your point? You're still a child. You are still human. You breathe. I've dated black women. I've dated Asian women. I've dated Mexican women. I don't care.
I really do. And this is what burns me. It really does. I understand there's going to be racism. It's out there. You ain't going to get away from it. It's going to be there, period.
Yeah, it's always...
It's going to be on both sides. It's not just one side.
Yeah.
And you always hear one-sided, but it's not.
And that's the biggest thing I have is that you can only be racist if you have power. Okay, you're saying that... They were saying that when there was a black man as president. Huh? If you're going to give me an argument that makes sense. Don't give me the fucking argument of this is this and this is that. It's no. Yeah, we may be the white people may be a majority in this country, but we are also the least vocal in this country.
Well, we are, and I guess you could say we are and we're not. There's too much, I like to call it white guilt.
Yeah, the white guilt, that is a big thing. I'll tell you what, the one thing that, and I'll even tell it to the few people that will probably watch this, because, it's not the biggest thing in the world. Look up intellectual dark web. You'll find it interesting. It's, I know you've heard of Jordan Peterson.
Right.
Yeah. He's part of that. Joe Rogan, these people that are vocal about stuff. My biggest problem that everybody says is, well, that's all just a bunch of white people on there. See, the only diversity that you want is the color of people's skin. I want a diversity of ideas.
Yeah.
God forbid that.
I don't
God
care.
forbid that, white people have a diversity of thought. That black people have a diversity of thought. God forbid that everybody has a diversity of thought. That is the problem with this country, is that everybody thinks that this has to be this certain way. No, I want 5 million different ideas on the same topic.
Well, the problem is it's always put right out gate, right up front, race.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. It don't matter. It's right there. It's the easy card to pull out and throw.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, if that's...
And it's gotten thrown so much that I just look at it and say, really? That's the best you can do now? Come on.
Yeah. The idea, once you call somebody a racist, bigot, womanizer, all this for so long that those words have no more meaning.
Right.
And that's the thing, is that you're okay. So you're calling me Hitler. I'm Hitler right now. Okay.
Things
You are
got worse.
you are desensitizing that word. Hitler used to mean bad things.
Yeah.
Now it's, oh, that's just somebody that thinks different than me. That's all you're doing. Hitler did was the worst human almost on the face of the earth. Not as bad as Mao. Everybody thinks that Hitler was the worst, but Mao also killed 30 million of his own people. Hitler killed Jews, 16 million of them.
The sad part is, I do believe, wasn't he part Jewish?
Yeah, yeah. From what I understand.
You know, from what, yeah, that's what I understand.
It's been a long time since I've done a deep dive on Hitler, so,
Right.
you know, I've got so much information running through my head right now that it just, I think that's why my blood pressure is always up. And that's why I'm always lightheaded.
Well, you know, I do. I really kind of sit back and just play the dumb because, you know, I like watching people and seeing what their mentality is on how they handle things. You know, if they're going to pull that race card or if they're going to pull the gender card or, you know,
Yeah.
how they're going to address something, you know, and just sit back and watch them and just really, I mean, so there's been times I've just stood there going,
How?
I really want to say something to that, but
It's so stupid that I can't even say anything.
I just can't even do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's a big problem is that, you know, it's easy to piss off these people.
oh yeah,
They have, okay, look, I have a hair trigger, but not for people. I have a hair trigger for things, and you know this. You've seen it, where I could be talking to you just fine, and then I'll be working on something, and something, you know,
goes awry.
goes awry, and I'm cussing that thing out. I will not cuss out a person unless they deserve a cussing out.
See, me, I have the total opposite.
You can
I
be
can
patient
tinker with anything in the world and it can go awry and it don't bother me. I see the stupidest and most ignorant thing somebody does that, it just burns me. It's like,
How can you be so stupid?
yeah, why?
I guess the way I look at it is that human nature is always going to be human nature.
It is, but I guess I kind of want to hold people a little higher than maybe they want to hold themselves.
I do
You
that
know?
sometimes too, but there are people that I work with or that drive for us that, you know, it just takes one thing and I'm flown off the handle with them because I keep things at a higher standard than people, I think. And not in like a bad way. I think you understand what I'm saying.
Right. I don't know where you're going with it.
But if you can't, because I look at things that you are supposed to maintain, and if you can't maintain that, that means you can't maintain your life.
Right.
And that's something that you're in 6 to 7 days at a time. If you can't maintain that, that means you're useless to me.
Well, see, me, I look at it different. I look at it as if you're being so stupid and so selfish and just,
I guess that's basically what it is because if you can't maintain this one thing that you're supposed to maintain to make you money, you're stupid.
you know, but you take your focus to an object, and I'm skipping C. I'm going straight to A.
Okay,
A is
yeah.
A is
Yeah.
the dummy here. You know, it ain't because this broke. It's because dummy
No,
over here
I'm-
didn't do what he needed to do.
No, I'm saying like cleanliness and, you know, of the thing that makes you money.
Right.
I'm looking at maintenance in that aspect.
Right.
If you come to me and you are a disheveled slob, but you did not just get off of work, you've been up all day and that's the way you came. Look, even if I have to go out in public, I still put my pants on. I still put, you know, decent.
Nah, I seen you out the other day with no pants. What are you talking about?
You didn't even know where this place was. Shut up. No, like if I'm at my house, I'm allowed to lounge around. I'm allowed to wear what I want. If I want to
Right.
look like a slob, I'll look like a slob. I don't care. I'm in my house. But if I have to go out in public, I make sure that I look decent, that I'm not a complete, you know, slob. But unless I'm or if I just got off work and I'm all you've seen me after work.
Oh, yeah.
I'm nasty. I look nasty. But if I have to go somewhere, I'm fine with that because guess what? I just did my job. something that I have to do to maintain my lifestyle.
You know, you wouldn't get as dirty if you wouldn't crawl around the motor and try to wipe everything off of it.
Yeah. I wish, but when you're short like I am, you kind of have no choice.
I figured you could get in there real easy.
No. You've seen you've seen the way I've done transmissions. I'm the only guy still that can stand up underneath there. What are you doing? Are you standing? Yeah.
Okay.
The hell? But yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't get that. People will judge you. And that's another thing. People don't want to be judged anymore. It's like, no.
But that's the way human nature is.
Yeah, exactly.
Human nature is. You're short. I'm tall.
Who cares?
You know?
Yeah.
The problem is, we're both round.
Yeah. Round is a shape, damn it. But yeah, I mean, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to phrase this, and it's not working.
There ain't ever going to be a good way to phrase it.
Is that the politics with the immigration, the politics with identity politics, the politics, period, is that it, like you said, basically comes down to being, race. Well, why do we even have that word anymore? Because race doesn't mean anything. Everybody's got equal rights. Everybody does. They don't want to admit it, but they do.
But the funny part of it all falls back to, and I've heard this one, and I heard this one not a dang week ago, the slavery argument.
There is no...
I said, you show me somebody that is still alive and survived it right now.
That lives in this country.
Yes.
This is the country we're talking about. We're not talking about Nigeria, Congo, nothing like that. We're talking about in America.
Yes.
Which there is slavery, but it's not the slavery that they're thinking of. Because if you really want to put the definition of slavery down, you can go, okay.
It's never ended.
It's never going to end. But guess what? There's white women that are slaves. You know what they're doing? Being prostitutes to pimps.
Well, no. Let's be realistic. Realistic view. Slavery. It's never ended. They just found a smarter way that we haven't caught it yet.
Yeah.
They take your money. You ain't got a choice to pay taxes. If you don't, they come throw your ass in jail. Mm-hmm. So that's part of taking and them giving you what they think you need to get by.
Taxation is theft.
So, I mean...
I can understand the sales tax. I can understand...
So, when they start arguing the slavery deal, I'm like, you need to stop and really look at life. You're still there.
And I also understand the property tax. I just don't understand the income tax. Never will. It shouldn't exist.
But, like again, it comes back to the slavery issue. Mm-hmm. They take what you busted your ass to get. Now, we're going to take our little chunk out. This is all you need to live on now. Mm-hmm. And it's same thing. Mm-hmm. But people don't see it. They want to argue that fact.
Yeah, and it's going to be a never-ending
conversation.
It's going to be never-ending until people realize that taxation is theft. I don't care what anybody says. Period. Your income should be your fucking income.
Right.
And you should... Property tax, I understand. I get it. Schools, roads, stuff like that. I understand. But that should be it. And a police force. Maybe.
Maybe. Some of them.
Because really, if you let the free market and you let people have choices, usually a lot of stuff settles itself.
Right.
Anarchy doesn't work. It works to an extent, but it's not going to be it's not foolproof. I've got a guy that love him to death, but he's a full-blown anarchist. Full fucking blown anarchist. You know, he thinks the founding fathers was a joke. He thinks, you know, government should be out of everything. And it's like, no, because you got to have some rules in life.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people say it's why religion was derived, to put rules and restrictions in people's minds to keep them
sane.
right.
And then now, look, we've taken God out of everything. And look what's happening.
They ain't gonna get no better.
No.
I mean, so it is what it is, and it's just like with the immigration argument. It's gonna be an argument that's there,
And it
ain't gonna get no better.
And really, we shouldn't be focusing on the separation of families. We should be talking about why are they wanting to immigrate so bad that they're willing to take that risk of having their family separated.
Right. Now, it's written into law. If you break this law, you know
you as an adult are breaking the law. So we have to take your kids away from you while we process you, and then they get reunited back in Mexico. The kids get deported too.
Yeah. And you cannot apply for citizenship at that point.
No.
That is part of the deal. Once you get caught illegally coming in, unless they've changed it now.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't got to.
I hadn't really got too deep into that aspect and end of it, but it used to be.
The reason for this podcast is so we can talk about what we know, and if you're willing to come back after we've done more research, and then we can talk about, and then have, you know, a good full blown. Okay, we're going to focus solely on this. That's why, you know, we've been getting off topic.
Oh yeah,
because we don't know everything.
No,
but I want to show people that it's okay. We can talk about it as just people that don't know, and we just want to get our feelings out there. Because you know what? Everybody has their feelings. Why can't we have ours?
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong? No, you fucking leftist fruitcakes. And your rightist fucking fruitcakes. I've become so center that it's unreal. It has gotten bad for me. I've gone so center that it's like I could be the flagpole and be like, yeah, this is what you're supposed to be. Me.
Yeah, but somebody would start pushing you, trying to push you one way or another.
They still do. I get messages all the time that people want me to go this way. It's like, no. Why? Why do I don't agree with your politics, and I don't agree with your politics. I agree with the right side of government should be this big. I agree with the left that it should be pro-choice, that it should be whatever. Now, that's my political philosophy. Now, if you would take my personal feelings, which is what a lot of people are doing, is putting their personal feelings out there instead of their political, I'm right. I'm on the right, pretty hardcore. Because if I took my personal feelings, I'm pro-life, hardcore pro-life. But my politics go, I am pro-whatever. Whatever the law says, and I should not judge people because of what they do with their body and their child.
Right.
But I want to get that entire conversation down to 8 weeks. All the way across the board. I think that's fair enough. 8 weeks. Well, what if she doesn't get a period every month? Okay. A piss stick costs 99 cents. Go get one. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, though?
Oh, hell.
If you can't spend $1 a month to make sure that you aren't pregnant, and you go, oh, I'm pregnant. Oh,
three for $5.
Whatever.
You know, I mean,
I obviously I don't know because I don't have kids, but you know.
Oh, I got kids, so
yeah, I know. Snip, snip, motherfucker. How many are you up to now?
Oh, let's see, 4 and 1 gone. 4 here and 1 passed away.
That's right. I'm sorry, I couldn't remember. It's been a little while since we actually got to sit down and talk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But the last podcast, that was a rough one. about the whole dad going through the hell that he's been going through. God.
But, that's kind of bad part, but that's the way society is, though.
Yeah, it's bleeding heart for the mother. But the patriarchy is bad.
You know?
Yeah. It doesn't work, even though it's worked for the last, 2,000 years. The man provides and protects. The woman helps take care of the man. That's the way it should. I know it sounds sexist.
But that's not the way it is now. That's not the way it was.
That's the thing, is the women saw that as unequal, and it's like, no, that was equal. Because he's providing, he's protecting. It
ain't that you can't do it.
It's just that
he does it better.
Or
his physical ability is better to handle a bear coming through the living room door than you are. I mean, it's nothing against you. Yeah, you might be able to do something with that bear. But
the likelihood of you actually doing anything, unless you are like a bodybuilding, pumping iron every day woman, and your husband's just that skinny little guy, then yeah.
I've seen that.
Which I have too, which is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life.
But the thing is, you got a 190 pound or 200 pound man and a 110 pound woman.
Yeah.
I mean,
who's going to win? Oh. Unless she knows some good karate or something that she's like.
Or Smith & Wesson.
Or Smith & Wesson. There you go. Oh, yeah. That's one thing that we're going to talk about next time you're on. We're going to talk about the gun control. Because I know you're very pro-gun. I am. There shouldn't be a single law on owning a gun. That not my honest to God opinion on guns is. Yeah, we should have background checks, but
we do have to have some law. Let's be realistic. We do have to.
Yeah,
I mean,
but we should also, the government shouldn't be better than us. Let me put it that way.
The thing is, I shouldn't have to spend $100 or $150 to get a little card that says, "Oh, I can carry my gun where I want to now."
Missouri stopped that though.
No, read the law.
Well, it depends on what town you're in.
Read the law. If you read into that law and actually look at it, you'll be like, "So what the hell is the point of it?"
Yeah. Well, you can, but I know you can open carry.
Now, I've been trying to find it, and I ain't found it yet. I got a guy I know. He teaches the concealed carry classes, or used to.
Yeah.
But he said from what he's found on it is, yeah, you can open carry if it ain't loaded and you ain't got a clip in it if it's an automatic.
Or a semi-automatic, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I was like, really? He goes, that's the way they wrote it. Now, if it's loaded or you have a clip in the bottom, you're illegal.
Unless you're CCW.
Right. And I was like, so I have to do some checking on that. And he goes, that's the way I understood the law to be written. So I was like, Because it kind of threw, I was like, well, so what's the point? Because right now, in your car, you could carry your weapon, without a... It is kind of, how they twist things and write it up actually gets people in trouble. And that's how they make money. Fines and everything else,
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, because I'm really curious that, if it's the way it is wrote up, I mean, what was the point?
It says nothing about that.
Now, I have read that a few of the government officials, higher ups, want to make the concealed carry more of a national thing than just state thing. Which, in some ways, I think would be a good thing.
Yeah. It doesn't say anything about it at all. So I think he might have been blowing smoke up your ass.
Oh, who knows? I don't. It's like I said. I hadn't had time to bother to sit down and actually look at the law and see how it was written.
Yeah. I mean, I'm American as fuck. Oh, yeah. But back to the immigration, so we can finish up this.
We'll continue that one for another topic.
Yeah, we'll get that one to where there's research, there's papers sitting on the table to where we can sit and you'd be like, okay, well this says this, so why do they do this? I'm not the best at articulating my thoughts, but I've gotten a lot better since I started doing this. I've gotten a lot better at talking, because people have been making me use words that I didn't think I could use.
Talking ain't the problem. It's shutting me up.
Well, can you believe we've already gone 2 hours?
I think your clock's off.
No, we started at 7:15.
Dang.
Yeah, and it's 8:30 now. I told that's the thing that amazes people. It's like, we've already gone that long. Yeah, it doesn't take long.
Ain't that sad?
Yeah,
The thing you'd be over with, and you're sitting there going, I ain't done talking yet.
and that's fine because on a podcast there's no
Set time frame.
We could go. I said on one I didn't upload it because we got into some topics that I did not want to get into, but he was
Pushing into.
and I'm just like, dude, you gotta back off because I can't really use it. It was 6 hours fucking long.
Oh, nice.
I had to piss 3 times. I was like, dude, I gotta eat while I'm listening to him. And so it's just like, dude, we can't eat none of this.
I can't use none of this shit,
I mean, I was like, well, I can put bits and pieces in here on topics, but I was like, nah, I better not. But no,
You might make the highlight reel on a few things.
yeah. Like when I do my solo cast, it's just me talking in front of the camera, I edit the shit out of that because I'm going fuck shit, dumb motherfucker, because I script it out.
Right.
I'm gonna, because I used to do just the
Oh, I've seen you with paper going. Oh yeah.
No, it sits right here. I know, that's why that printer's sitting there. But I write scripts because I get my thoughts out clearer, and I know what I'm going to say, because my next solo cast is on Steven Crowder, kind of giving a biography of what he's done, and then the one after that is probably Jordan Peterson. I'm doing a 3-part on him, though, because 20 minutes talking about Jordan Peterson is nowhere near enough. I've got 7 pages of a script for him alone. Yeah.
You got too much time on your damn hands.
No, it's called research. I'm editing and doing research, so when it's rendering out to send to the guy.
Yes, but 7 pages? You're going to bust that down to, I don't know.
About 60 minutes is what I'm going to go for total. I'll do a 20-minute video, 20-minute video, 20-minute video.
Nah, okay.
Yeah. It's going to be a 3 parts on him.
Well, you ain't going to make people sit the whole hour.
No, because people will sit here and listen to this about, people having a conversation.
You know what the sad part is, though? They're sitting there going, he got some goofy bastard on there today.
And that's fine, because this is for everyday people. This podcast is not... I want it to get big enough to where I can get, like, the mayor of Perryville in here to have a sit-down conversation, talk about the politics, talk about what their thoughts are on stuff. But I don't want to get it any bigger than that. I know that sounds weird.
But the problem is, though, if
it gets that big,
if Tom, whoever, come up in here and said, hey, here's a 5-year contract. You're going national.
I won't sign it. I don't want it to be that. I want it to stay small. big enough to where I could, provide for myself, but not so big that, that people are wanting contracts with me and stuff like that. Contracts for advertisement, okay, yeah, I'll take that because that's money in my pocket.
Right.
But I wanted to keep it to where it's just an everyday person conversation, not I'm going to get like Neil deGrasse Tyson in here and we're going to talk astrophysics. No, I don't want that.
Let me be absent on that day.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, one person that I need to get in here, and Lucy, who's the co-host of this, she is my co-host. Have her in here with you, and you two have a conversation while I'm behind there. Got the extra monitor over there, and I'm swapping back between the two, and just because her views are almost 100% different than mine, because she is so based in religion. She's hardcore religious.
Oh, nice.
In the aspect of politics.
Right. She believes that, you can't have one without the other.
Yeah. And I want to hear a conversation between you two. Because I believe it would get heated between you two, but not like violent heated. It'd be
right.
Like, no, that's stupid. Do it this way.
Yeah.
No, you're stupid. It should be this way. Because she is a no-holds-barred midget. She's 5 foot nothing.
Somebody just a little shorter than you.
7 inches shorter than me, thank you. I'm 5'7", and I'm proud of it. I don't care if I'm short. That's another thing is people are always basing what you know off your looks, and it's like, no, there's a lot more intelligent people that look goofier than fuck.
Oh yeah, but I like being the one that just everybody thinks, oh yeah, look at him. Look at that big goofy bastard. He sure is.
He played football, got his head knocked around a little bit, and was done.
Yeah.
Which we could talk about that too. The way the football has gone down. Oh God, that used to be a religion for me in its own, is having to watch football, and now it's like
I don't watch NFL anymore. I don't. I still watch college.
Oh yeah,
I love college now.
Well, I like college because they're trying to get to the NFL. They're trying, so they're busting their ass to get to that.
At a point, they're still playing for the love of the game.
Yeah,
not just for a paycheck. Because let's be realistic. A lot of them are not gonna get it.
Yeah. Brian Urlacher. I know he's Bears. I know you're not a Bears fan. To this day, I still think he played just for the game. He was 100% dedicated, and it tore him apart that he had to retire.
Mm-hmm.
I know it tore him apart because he loved the game.
Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
He was one that played for the game.
Brett Favre. He played for the game.
Even when he shouldn't have played.
Yeah. But he's still an elite quarterback.
Right.
Hands down. Because even when he had a shitty offensive line, he still made it work. That's the argument that I have with Tom Brady. Tom Brady, the only reason he's an elite quarterback is because they make sure he's got a good first, second, third string linemen's. Nobody else can afford to do that.
Well,
every time you buy Kraft, you're paying those players.
That's why I don't buy Kraft.
You liar.
I still got a whole storage room full.
Yeah. Yeah, which I got to talk to you afterwards, see if you need anything.
And I do.
Okay. Just write it down and I'll get it taken care of.
So, all
right. Which actually I think I have something for you out in the Jeep now that you'll enjoy. So.
Well, I can't put it on the bike.
Yeah, you can. It's only one little bag.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can deal with that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but
and I thought I left her at home.
But back to the sports ball. The politics has ruined that too.
Yeah,
so
it is.
bad.
It is.
Because I used to watch ESPN religiously. Now it's just like I can't even fucking stand looking at it because it's all based in politics, and it's like, okay, you want the state and church to be separated. Okay, how about we have sports and state separated, and we'll just call it a day? Because it's
not going to happen though.
I know because back to the identity politics.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody identifies that way, and that's the way it's going to work.
They're going to force feed you. If you won't spoon feed you, they're going to force feed it to you.
Yep. Exactly.
And that's the way it's going to go down.
Exactly.
And you ain't going to get around it.
Exactly. And no matter what we do, it's not going anywhere good. I can say that. It's not. It's going to cause a rift that is not repairable.
It already has. Let's be realistic. It has already started it.
But that's also why you see like the intellectual dark web popping up, is because they are trying to mend it. They are trying to fix it, and they are doing a better job at it than anybody else will.
I see where you're going with it, and I kind of agree with that. But until somebody's willing to step out there into the front line with it, and really,
that's where they're at. They're in the front line.
But what I'm saying is, just like they're throwing theirs at everybody, until somebody's stepping in that light.
They're literally throwing the shit in the fan and seeing what'll stick. Is basically that's what both sides are doing. And the people that are more centrist like me, they're like, okay, well, I'll tell you what, we're gonna go in the back door, and we're gonna go, hey, why are you doing this? Why are you listening to shit? Why don't you think for yourself instead of being a dipshit? Why don't you actually just listen and talk to people with differing viewpoints?
Don't be a muppet.
Basically, yeah. Don't be a muppet, puppet, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Somebody with somebody else. Don't be somebody with somebody else's hand in your ass. There you go.
Can't go nowhere with that one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh. But it is the way it is.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I got to tell you a joke after this, because it's not a racist. Well, it's not even racist. We got Aaron Ray, guy I work with, Aaron. He's half black, half white. Well, they were eating watermelon in the office, and he, his load was late, late on getting loaded, and he was like, "Fuck it." They said, "Yeah, it'll be about 6 a.m. This is at 10 o'clock." They're like, he's like, "All right." Well, he went out to the truck and went to bed. Came back in about, I don't know, 11:30, midnight, something like that. And he's looking at the rinds, and he goes, "Motherfuckers had watermelon? And you didn't come out and tell me?" The boss looked him dead in the eye and said, "I didn't think you were black enough." And Aaron's just like, "Oh, I didn't even got a comeback for that, man." Just like, yes. And see, and that's the problem with the identity politics, is because everything's racist.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun to be slightly racist sometimes, jokingly.
Well, there's a difference in joking and really trying to hurt somebody.
Yeah, and Aaron was just like, "Dude, I can't disagree with you." Aaron's gonna be on the show. That's why I'm mentioning his name.
Right.
And he's just like, and I've talked to him about it too, and he goes, "You're right, because I know the difference between this one and this one." You know what word I'm trying to say.
Right.
And he goes, "I know the difference. If you came up to me and said that to me, I know you're joking with me. But if you walked up to some white dude and said that word to them, I would know you ain't joking." Because he understands the different types. He understands that. And his dad, who's black, has told him that there is a big difference between context.
Mm-hmm.
Context matters.
Well, the thing is, I have a look on that is there's white and then there's black ones too.
Yeah.
But, to me, in the word you're looking at,
Yeah.
I don't look at that as a color.
And neither do I.
I look at that as a way of life or your personality. If you're going to let yourself be, trying to figure out how I want to phrase this.
Identifying as.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to call it what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, now I know people that work their rear ends off, and I mean, don't matter. Then I know people that sit, draw a welfare check,
Mm-hmm.
and it don't matter what color they are. They can be white, they can be black. It don't matter.
They can be Mexican. They can be Asian. Which you don't see too many lazy Asians though.
No, you don't.
No,
This
you
thing
see-
always cook.
Yeah, they eat cheap.
No.
They eat cheap.
You never see a fat one.
You do every once in a while, but it's like one of those ones that's so Americanized that they were born in America. And,
I was looking at that one time. I was like, you stop and really look at what they actually eat, and you're like,
how do they not get fat?
yeah,
Because they eat a lot of rice, and rice is healthy for you, but the quantities
they
they
can
eat,
pack the pounds on.
yeah, but they have energy for days. Because I've had some meetings with some Asians, and in the morning, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna have breakfast," and then we'll start the discussions. Big old bowls of rice and all that, and they're sitting there, and you don't talk.
No, you
You eat, and then you talk.
Yeah.
Because eating for them is a serious business, because they know they're not all, because they look at their outlook on life is, this could be my last meal. I'm going to enjoy it. I don't want to talk. I don't want to look at you. I just want to eat. Then we'll talk.
Right.
And I guess I'm raised that way a little bit, because Western people did that. And my grandfather was the same way. I don't want to talk. I want to eat, and then we'll talk.
The way I look at life, all right. And my son, his cousins, different. The way they do it. My house, come to my table, your hat better be off your head. You better have a shirt on. You don't burp. You don't fart at the table.
Yeah.
Because
It's
if
called
you
man-
do, you're going to pick yourself up.
Yeah.
Well, I don't believe in that. And, it's like I told them.
But let's be clarify here. If you're talking and all of a sudden it just, you burp, that happens. Everybody does
Right.
that.
But I'm just talking where you're sitting there and that.
Yeah, deliberately, yes. But if you're, sitting there talking, because, hell, I've sneezed and farted at the same time.
But when you're sitting there and you do it and you start laughing about it, that's an intentional.
Yeah, but if it's like you're talking and all of a sudden it's like, what the fuck did I just do?
Yeah.
If it's like, there's a reaction, like, why
If
did I do that?
you know it's coming, I'd rather have you excuse yourself from the table and go outside or go to another room.
Yeah, far enough away that somebody can't hear it.
Right.
My mom...
Go outside and walk around the house. That way you air your pants out by the time you get back.
Yeah. Well, my mom has the same rule, but I've also, I'm also 31 years old. And I look at her and say, I don't care. I live here. I'll do what I want, not what you want. So if I want to wear my hat, I'm going to wear my hat. I'm still going to use manners.
Right.
But I'm not going to intentionally do any bodily functions. But my hat, I'm not going to take it off anymore. Because the way I look at a hat, it's not being disrespectful. It's like, it's either you get to see this shiny thing, or you have this. Which one do you want?
The shiny thing.
It's pretty shiny.
You missed a spot.
Right there?
Yeah. Turtle wax.
Yeah. Yeah, I just shaved it today for this.
But no, I am, and I was raised that way. Being
But your cousins are...
they're more. They'll come to the table, no shirt.
Depends on the age of the kid. Depends on the age of the kid and what you're eating. Right now, my niece, spaghetti, and a shirt. No.
No. I mean, let's be realistic.
Almost with me and spaghetti. I won't be wearing this shirt when I go to eat. I can tell you that.
Well, I mean, let's be realistic. I mean, you got to use some kind of
Common
rational sense.
Yeah, rational sense. And that's another thing in this world is nobody has common sense.
But if you're 14 or 15 years old coming to my table without a shirt on, we got us a problem. You don't want to eat very damn bad, do you?
Yeah, and your son's learned that the hard way, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
See, And that's what these kids are missing is the hard knock life.
See, I don't spare the rod.
You can't. You can't. You cannot spare the rod.
And I've had DFS called on my other children, not the ones I have now, but the problem is the way the system's wrote up and people don't realize it. It don't say you can't whoop your kids.
Yeah.
Nowhere does it say it. It says you can't beat your kids. Beat your kids means you can't bruise them. You can't leave marks on them. You can wear their little ass out, though.
Isn't that why God gave us an ass to begin with?
You know? I mean, but it's interpretation.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been so much of, oh, you can't do this. You can't do that. Well, if I do this, then, friend of mine, daughter, you take my phone away from me, I'll call 1-800 who gives a shit, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And he goes, well, that's okay. You call them. Because you know what? You go in there when you do, pack your bag. He goes, bring it out here and sit by the door. He goes, and I'm going to whoop your ass until they get here. Mm-hmm. You know? It's like, the kids have been given too much power.
That is the biggest thing.
The kids have been given too much
power.
power.
And this whole socializing thing. Because I never went to daycare. I always had a at-home mom. I'm not going to lie. I got blessed with that. We grew up poor and shit. But I always had an at-home mom. And I didn't need the socializing. You know why? You got enough at school. I got to see my mom. I got to learn lessons from my mother. And if I wanted attention, I got attention.
And when you needed a foot, you got a foot.
Yeah. Well, wooden spoon, but...
Oh, I've put a foot in her ass already. Yeah, you got to remember, my 11-year-old is 5'2". Well, 5'3". At 11 years old. So now it's foot time.
Yeah.
My
my grandfather gave me that. I'm not going to lie. My grandfather was the nice guy. My grandmother, on the other hand.
Well, it's funny because he's bigger than his mom. You know his mom's only like 5'1", 5'2".
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, yeah. She goes, just remember, boy, you might be bigger, but I will ride you to the ground.
Yeah, your wife's mean.
He looks at me, and I'm like, dude, you're on your own.
Yeah. But, and that's the thing, is that parents have also stopped teaching kids to stop using their feelings as a crutch.
But, you know, and you have to have some feelings or some emotion. They do.
Yeah. I look at it this way. If they're having a bad day, talk to them. And if you're having a bad day and they're having a bad day, why don't you both talk about talk about the day? Because guess what? The kid is still human. If
they're going to see you're having a shitty day too. It's not just them.
Yeah, and what do most kids do? They try to brighten your day. Try to make your day better. Don't push them away.
I don't know about that. You know, I go into
but a lot of kids do.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's be realistic. Kids are just what you're going to make them. You're making your kids. You know, if you're going to make
nature and nurture.
You know, if you're going to make a shit kid,
they're going to be a shit kid.
You know,
they're going to be a shitty adult.
Yeah. You got a shitty adult now.
Look at Trump.
Hey.
I am not a Trump fan. Everybody thinks I am. He's trying to get shit done, but that's just my opinion.
My deal is I'm about for anybody that's trying to get shit done, because it's more than what we've had in the past.
Yeah, I mean, he has passed more policies, got more shit done in the first 2 years of being president than like the last 7 presidents, except, well, minus Reagan.
But nobody's going to admit that or acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Because, it's not their belief or their,
back to the identity politics.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it all boils down to identity politics on the left and right, and it just needs to stop. Basically. But going back to the child thing, because, we jump around a lot.
People are probably sitting there going, well, these assholes just decide to stay on one subject.
Yeah. But it works if parents are actually parents instead of friends, but also show them what a true friendship is.
I believe you can be your child's friend, but your first obligation is to be the parent.
Exactly. That's what I'm basically saying.
You know, and that's your first obligation is to be the parent.
Yeah.
You know, you can't let your kid raise you.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens so much nowadays.
Yeah. And, you know, I can understand if you know, the parent's like, I don't know this. But the kid's like, oh, yeah, we just learned this. You know, that's fine. That happens. I'm sure your kids have done that.
I'll tell you what. I can take my phone. Well, I got this new iPhone. Nice X. I'm sitting here going, where's my spectacles? You know? Yeah. And he's like, oh, I'll do that for you. Give me.
Yeah, exactly. My niece, she's got that Playhouse mouse or whatever.
Yeah.
She's doing stuff that she's just, you know, going to town. She's going on 4, and it's like,
on 4, I was still shitting my pants every once in a while, you know?
She don't. She cannot stay. She doesn't like being wet. After a bath, it's immediate. Dry her off as fast as you can because she can't stand it. That's why she was so easy to potty train.
Probably dog. Well, girls are easier anyway.
Yeah, sit them.
Yeah.
Just stay there. Here's some toys. Have fun.
Here's phone.
No. That's the one thing
You know, I seen that on Facebook the other day. You know, you used to have the phone booths. Now it's a bathroom.
Yep.
You know, and I'm like,
yeah, they're not far off. They are not far off at all.
No.
But, all right. I don't know how to end this, but we need to...
I need to wrap the circus up.
Yeah, wrap the circus up because I'm hungry.
Well, you can afford to lose a little.
My blood sugar says no.
Well.
I'm hypoglycemic. It's not because I'm fat. It's just my grandfather, who was, you know, 170 pounds at 5'9", not a heavy guy, not a big guy.
Right.
He was still diabetic. My biological grandma, diabetic. My mom, diabetic. My dad, I don't know. Alcoholic, that's all I know. So, but Cliff, I appreciate it. Hopefully we can get this. We'll do a little bit better. We'll try and structure this a little bit better for
more next time.
A little bit more, but yeah, give me a week and we can do this again, and then we'll I'll have all the stats and everything.
That's fine. We can do it all again. It don't matter to me.
Yeah, because the immigration thing is one of those things that we do that normal people needed to have a discussion about instead of all these politicians and all these people that are, you know, got higher education and all
it needs to be broke down in the layman's way of thinking.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is we don't do that no more.
No,
everybody is a philosopher.
They want to use such big words that you got to sit there and look the words up to figure out what the hell they're trying to say.
Yeah, and even I've seen some educated people going, the fuck does that mean? You know, it's like, hold on. Oh, you know, phones are a wonderful thing.
Oh, ain't they?
But all right, this was just Midwest Things. Well, hopefully this clusterfuck made sense to you.
See you guys.
See you guys.